In the journey of destiny, there will always be moments when the road becomes difficult and the night feels longer than the day. Every generation is presented with opportunities, but only those who develop the spirit of endurance step into the fullness of those opportunities. The year 2026 is not just another number on the calendar, it represents a season where persistence will separate dreamers from achievers. There are battles in life that intelligence alone cannot win. There are situations where talent is not enough, connections are not enough. What makes the difference in such moments is the decision to refuse defeat. Many people lose not because the challenge was stronger than them, but because they stopped fighting too soon. The world celebrates victory, but it rarely talks about the process that produces it. Behind every success story is a season of pressure, discipline, and silent battles that no one saw. Those who win are those who understand that every obstacle is an invitation to grow stronger. When challenges appear, they are not signals to stop, they are signals to rise. 2026 will demand more courage than comfort. It will require people who are willing to wake up when others are sleeping, people who will keep building when others are complaining, and people who will continue believing even when results seem delayed. The difference between those who break through and those who remain stagnant is not luck, it is persistence. There will be moments when doubt whispers that the dream is too big. There will be seasons when the effort seems slow and the progress seems slow. But progress is not always loud. Sometimes growth happens quietly beneath the surface, preparing you for the moment when everything begins to manifest. The discipline to continue when motivation fades is the secret weapon of champions. Anyone can start when excitement is high, but not everyone can continue when the journey becomes lonely. The people who transform their lives are those who understand that consistency builds strength and perseverance creates momentum. Every challenge carries a hidden lesson. The delays teach patience, the struggles build resilience, and the setbacks sharpen strategy. When a person learns to see difficulty as training rather than punishment, their mindset changes completely. They stop asking why the battle exists and start asking what the battle is trying to build within them. Victory often stands just beyond the moment when most people decide to quit. The difference between a breakthrough and a breakdown is sometimes only one more attempt, one more decision to continue. Those who succeed understand that persistence has a compounding effect. Every small step forward multiplies over time. The mindset required for 2026 is the mindset of a fighter, not a fighter who battles people, but a fighter who battles fear, distraction, laziness, and doubt. A fighter who understands their destiny must be pursued with intensity. Dreams are not fulfilled by wishes alone. They are fulfilled by commitment, discipline, and the courage to keep moving forward. There is a power that is released when a person refuses to give up. That power transforms ordinary individuals into unstoppable forces of progress. When the mind becomes convinced that surrender is not an option, creativity increases, focus sharpens, and determination rises. Many people wait for perfect conditions before they move, but perfect conditions rarely exist. Progress belongs to those who act despite uncertainty. It belongs to those who are willing to take steps even when the path is not fully visible. In 2026, the greatest victories will belong to those who develop endurance. They will not necessarily be the most talented, the most privileged. They will be the ones who decided that quitting was never part of their strategy. Every morning becomes an opportunity to continue the fight for your purpose. Every challenge becomes a training ground for greatness. Every setback becomes a reminder. The individuals who rise this year will be those who understand that success is not a single moment. It is a series of consistent decisions to keep going. They will be the ones who refuse to allow temporary difficulties to define their permanent future. Because sometimes the difference between an unfinished dream and a fulfilled destiny is simply the courage to fight a little longer. In every generation, there are individuals who begin the race with excitement, passion, and great expectations. They carry dreams in their hearts and visions in their minds. But as time unfolds, the journey begins to reveal its true nature. The path to success is rarely smooth, and the road to victory is often filled with obstacles, delays, and unexpected challenges. It is at this point that the true strength of a person is revealed. The question is never only about how well you start, but about how long you can continue when the journey becomes difficult. The reality of life is that talent may open the first door, but persistence is what keeps that door open. Many people possess great abilities and remarkable potential, yet potential alone has never been enough to guarantee success. The world is filled with talented individuals whose dreams remain unfulfilled, not because they lacked ability, but because they stopped moving forward when the pressure increased, where enthusiasm fades and the excitement of the beginning begins to disappear. What remains in that moment is not motivation, but discipline. The spirit of persistence is the ability to keep going even when the emotions that once push you forward are no longer present. It is the quiet determination that whispers within you, telling you that the journey must continue regardless of how difficult it may seem. When a person develops the spirit of persistence, they begin to see challenges differently. Obstacles are no longer seen as barriers meant to stop them, but as tests designed to strengthen them. Delays are no longer interpreted as failure, but as preparation. Every difficult moment becomes an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more focused. In the unfolding story of 2026, you'll be with the doubted voices will not necessarily be those with the loudest voices or the most impressive beginnings. There will be those who made a quiet but powerful decision deep within themselves. The decision that giving up will never become an option. There is something powerful about a person who refuses to quit. Such a person develops a kind of inner strength that cannot be easily shaken by circumstances. When others stop because the process seems too long, the persistent person continues. When others turn back because the path becomes uncertain, the persistent person moves forward with courage. And over time, this unwavering commitment begins to produce results that seem impossible at the beginning. The journey toward achievement often contains seasons where progress appears invisible. There are days when effort does not immediately translate into visible success. In those moments, doubt begins to whisper questions into the mind. It asks whether the effort is worth it, whether the dream is still possible, and whether continuing the fight truly makes sense. These are the moments that define the difference between those who succeed and those who surrender. Persistence is not the absence of defeated by it. It is the refusal to be defeated by it. A persistent individual understands that every meaningful goal requires endurance. Great accomplishments are rarely built in moments of comfort. They are forged through patience, discipline, and the willingness to keep moving forward when results are delayed. Many people imagine success as a single dramatic moment, but in reality, success is often the product of many small decisions made consistently over time. The decision to try again after failure, the decision to stand up after disappointment, a decision to continue learning after making mistakes. These seemingly small acts of determination gradually accumulate until they create a breakthrough. There is also a transformation that happens within a person who chooses persistence. The struggle begins to shape character. Patterns become stronger, focus becomes sharper, confidence grows quietly with every challenge that is faced and overcome. An individual who once doubted their own ability begins to discover a strength that was hidden within them all along. In 26, many people will begin with big goals and powerful ambitions, but as the months pass, the true test will appear. Some will slow down when the work becomes harder than expected. Others will abandon their goals when the results take longer than they imagined. Yet there will also be those who continue step after step, refusing to allow temporary obstacles to define their future. The spirit of persistence turns ordinary effort into extraordinary setbacks, into stepping stones and difficulties, into lessons. When a person decides that quitting is not part of their story, something remarkable begins to happen. New ideas emerge, new opportunity is appear where none seemed to exist before. The path forward may not always be clear, and the journey may demand more endurance than expected. Yet the individuals who cultivate the spirit of persistence will continue to move forward with determination. They will continue to rise after every fall, learn from every mistake, and push beyond every limitation, driven by the quiet but powerful conviction that the dream ahead is worth every step of the journey. Every meaningful journey contains moments that test the limits of human strength. There are seasons when life does not unfold according to expectations, moments when plans collapse, doors close, and progress appears to slow down. During these times, it is easy to assume that the struggle is a sign of failure or that the difficulties are meant to stop the journey entirely. Yet there is another way to understand these moments. The struggles that appear along the path are often not designed to destroy a person but to train them. Growth rarely occurs in comfort. Strength is not developed in seasons where everything moves smoothly and effortlessly. True development happens when an individual is forced to face challenges that stretch their abilities beyond what they once believed possible. Just as muscles grow stronger when they are placed under resistance, the human mind and spirit grow stronger when they are tested by adversity. Every struggle carries within it a lesson waiting to be discovered. Sometimes the lesson is patience, teaching a person that not every result appears immediately. Sometimes it is humility, reminding a person that there is always more to learn and more room to grow. At other times, the lesson is resilience, the ability to stand firm even when circumstances attempt to shake confidence. The difference between those who grow through difficulty and those who are defeated by it often lies in perspective. When a person views problems as punishment, discouragement quickly follows. The mind begins to focus on what is unfair, what is painful, and what seems impossible to overcome. Energy is drained, motivation fades, and the desire to continue begins to weaken. But when a person begins to see problems as preparation, the entire meaning of the struggle changes. Instead of asking why the challenge exists, the focus shifts toward discovering what the challenge is teaching. The obstacle becomes a classroom. The difficulty becomes a training ground. Every setback becomes an opportunity to develop a new level of strength. History repeatedly shows that individuals who achieve great things are rarely those who experienced an easy journey. There are often people who encountered obstacles that forced them to grow in ways they never expected. Challenges refined their thinking, strengthened their determination, and expanded their understanding of what they were capable of achieving. When the mind begins to accept that challenges are part of preparation, fear begins to lose its power. Instead of avoiding difficult situations, a person starts to engage them with courage. Problems are approached with curiosity rather than panic. A question becomes not whether the challenge can be avoided, but how it can be used to become stronger. Difficult seasons also develop patience, a quality that is often overlooked in a fast-moving world. Many people desire immediate results, quick success, and instant progress. Yet, the most meaningful achievements require time. They require a willingness to endure moments where effort seems invisible and progress appears slow. Patience allows a person to remain steady during these moments, trusting that growth is still taking place even when it cannot yet be seen. Resilience is another powerful result of facing challenges with the right mindset. Resilience is the capacity to recover after disappointment and continue moving forward despite obstacles. It is not the absence of failure, but the refusal to allow failure to define the final outcome. Each time a person rises after a setback, resilience becomes stronger. There is also a quiet wisdom that emerges from difficult experiences. Challenges force individuals to think differently, to search for solutions, and to adapt when circumstances change. Over time, this process sharpens judgment and deepens understanding. The individual who once struggled with uncertainty gradually develops the ability to navigate complex situations with confidence. It is important to recognize that the purpose of training is not comfort, but preparation. Training often feels demanding because it is designed to strengthen the areas that are weakest. In the same way, life sometimes presents challenges that expose limitations in order to transform them into strengths. What once appeared to be a weakness can become a source of power after it has been developed through persistence and learning. As the journey continues, a remarkable shift begins to take place within the individual who embraces this perspective. Difficulties that once seemed overwhelming begin to appear manageable. Situations that once created fear begin to inspire determination. The person who once questioned their ability to endure now discovers an inner strength that was hidden beneath the surface. The struggles that once appeared to threaten progress begin to reveal themselves as necessary steps in the process of growth. They deepen understanding and prepare the mind for responsibilities that require maturity and strength. Each challenge faced with courage becomes another layer of preparation for the opportunities that lie ahead. When problems are viewed as preparation rather than punishment, then our journey takes on a new meaning. Every difficulty becomes part of a larger process of transformation. And every season of struggle becomes a stage where strength, patience, and resilience are carefully built, shaping an individual who is increasingly prepared for the victories that await beyond the challenge. As we move forward into 2026, the path ahead will not always be easy, but it will always be meaningful for those who choose to remain committed. Every dream worth pursuing will demand courage, patience, and endurance. There will be moments when the journey feels heavy, when the obstacles appear larger than expected, and when progress seems slower than hoped. Yet it is in these very moments that true strength is revealed. The individuals who rise above the ordinary are not necessarily those who begin with the greatest advantages. There are those who develop the determination to keep moving forward when circumstances attempt to push them backward. They are the ones who see challenges not as barriers but as opportunities to grow stronger. They understand that every difficulty carries a lesson, every delay carries preparation, and every struggle carries the potential to shape a stronger future. When persistence becomes a habit, obstacles lose their power to intimidate it. When challenges are treated as training, adversity begins to produce wisdom and resilience. When consistency becomes a daily practice, even the slowest progress eventually leads to remarkable transformation. These principles are not merely ideas, they are the foundation upon which lasting success is built. The journey toward victory is rarely defined by a single moment of brilliance. Instead, it is shaped by countless quiet decisions made day after day. The decision to rise after decision, to continue learning after failure, the decision to keep believing when results have not yet appeared. Each of these choices adds strength to the path ahead. It alleviates your pain. There is a powerful transformation that occurs when a person refuses to surrender their vision. Confidence begins to replace doubt. Discipline replaces hesitation, and courage replaces fear. The individual who once questioned their ability to endure gradually becomes someone who understands that perseverance can overcome even the most difficult. Obstacles will appear for those who are prepared to pursue them with determination. The challenges that arise will not be signals to retreat, but invitations to grow. Every effort invested, every lesson learned, and every moment of persistence will contribute to a story of progress and transformation. Victory often belongs to those who remain on the path long after others have turned away. It belongs to those who continue to believe in their purpose even when the road becomes uncertain. And for those who carry this mindset into 2026, the journey itself will become proof that endurance, resilience, and unwavering commitment have the power to turn determination into achievement.